Here with us in the studio is Dr. Jennifer McBride. She is the Assistant Professor of Religion here at Wartburg College and has been working with Kelly Gissendaner, a woman who was convicted for murder in the death of her husband. Kelly has recently made headlines as she is Georgia's only female death row inmate. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
So can you give us kind of a timeline of what's recently happened within the past couple months with Kelly's sentence?
Sure. I went back to Atlanta for her late February clemency hearing, and that was the day before her first execution date was set. Then that day came and she was denied clemency, but then there was a snowstorm in Atlanta, and it was postponed till March 2nd. So then on that execution day, there was problems with the drugs. And so now Georgia is trying to figure out these problems, and her death warrant ran out, and so we are now in this waiting period.
Okay. So how did you meet Kelly?
I was part of a theology program through 4 Atlanta-based seminaries, and it's an academic program, and she was in the second class of women, and so I met her as in a student-professor relationship.
Okay. So what role has theology played in Kelly's life?
Well, I think that she would say that it's played a big role. One of the main parts about the story is the amazing transformation that she's had. That transformation actually began early in her prison sentence when a pastor went to visit her and started having these hard, difficult conversations and honest conversations. And I guess it was about 10 years later that she started the theology program, and so it was learning to love God with her mind and kind of deepen what was already a really strong devotional life.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned costly grace in the article you wrote for CNN. How does this apply to Kelly's life?
Yeah, well, costly grace comes from, it's a term from a German theologian named Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and he's one of the theologians that we read. And he refers to cheap grace and costly grace. So cheap grace is a kind of saying that you believe in God or that you're forgiven, but not actually having any kind of change. Costly grace, in Kelly's case, is actually facing the hard things that she had done, and sort of an authentic, real growth. So part of the questions that people have been asking around Kelly's case is, how do you know that this transformation is real? And because it has all this concrete fruit of her transformation.
Mm-hmm. So you also mentioned in the article that Kelly's life hangs in the balance. So how are you working to counteract her death sentence?
Yeah, well, we have been trying to get her story out, not only this amazing story of her transformation and of the fruits of that transformation, her reconciliation with her children, the way she ministers to other inmates in the prison. She's even ministered to at-risk youth that have come into the prison. So not only telling her story in that way, but also talking about some of the details of the case. She's the only, if she is to be executed, she'll be the only person in Georgia that's executed who was not the trigger person, nor was she present at the crime. And so we are trying to bother Governor Nathan Deal and let him know that there's people, many people in Georgia, faith leaders and other citizens, as well as people all over the world who are asking that her death sentence be turned into life without parole.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
To learn more about Dr. McBride's relationship with Kelly, you can check out her article she wrote on CNN. We'll be right back.